Hello and welcome everybody to the Gold and Silver Club weekly commodities review on the 25th of September 2015, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So today we'll be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance. The live session will be covering an overview of the commodities markets. We'll be reviewing the top trades of the week. We'll cover live market commentary, technical analysis, and of course we'll be answering any questions you may have as well. So first of all, before we get started, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is an international commodities trading research and advisory group. We specialize in the precious metals, the energies and the agricultural markets. We are recognized as the leading go-to authority on commodities as internationally respected experts. Our analysis, our opinions on the metals, the energies and the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, including Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN, Global Banking and Finance Review, The Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Our team of experts has advised and taught technical analysis, fundamental research, portfolio management to more than 75,000 private and institutional clients worldwide. For further information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, so we'll move over and we'll have a look at the price of gold. So we're currently trading right now at 1,143 US dollars per ounce. So we'll take a look at the technicals very shortly. We had a nice spike to the upside just yesterday on gold, and we've since retraced. So we'll have a look at that in just a second. Before we do so, we'll go through the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. So those were as follows. We had a lovely trade which followed through from last week's FOMC statement, which came up and hit our profit target just yesterday. The overall profit on that was over 280 points that we banked on the gold trade. You can see where it had a lovely follow through and a breakout just yesterday. We also caught a lovely breakout on Palladium. Now Palladium, we discussed this last week. We've been basing on Palladium, nice V-shaped reversal pattern, and we finally got a big breakout of that neckline, 370 points profit on that trade. And finally, we also had an opportunity to sell short light sweet crude oil just on Wednesday for a nice quick day trade down there, 140 points profit on the trade. So those are the top trades that we've had over this week on the commodities. And what we'll do, we'll move over and have a look at the technicals. We'll just go through some live technical analysis with you. So the first market I want to have a look at here is, of course, going to be gold. We'll just go out to the larger time frames at the moment. What I want you to note is just go out to, first of all, we'll just take it out to the daily chart. You can have a look. Here is the pennant formation that we've been discussing previously, where we had a building up of price. We got a bit of a squeeze here as we came right into the apex of that pennant. We finally had a big breakout, which occurred just around the FOMC statement last week on Tuesday. On Wednesday was when we broke out, and then we followed through on Thursday and Friday, and that's just been a beautiful trade. We've had multiple positions on this, one for this first breakout of the pennant. We also got into this on the FOMC statement last week, and we've also hit our final profit target just at the 1150 zone yesterday. So that's been a beautiful move. So where we are at the moment, we can anticipate a little bit of a retracement here. We are looking for an opportunity to get back in for a potential buy position here on gold. You'll want to note we've hit very firm horizontal resistance here around the 1155 zone. We pull back just overnight. If we take it out to the larger time frames, just have a look at the overall context of gold right now, you can see if just take off some of these trend lines where we are actually now building up a pennant also on the larger time frames. You can see very clear overhead resistance here sitting around 1155. Now if we were to build up momentum over next week and get a breakout of that zone, to see some significant moves here on the precious metals. So we're sitting right around that resistance zone. We probably won't break that today. I would expect either a little bit of a retracement lower here or some consolidation, but moving into next week and as we come into October should be very interesting if we can break above this key zone at about 1155 zone. So definitely have that on your radar for gold. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. You can see on the much larger time frames, we've now got a strong pennant which has formed here. So you definitely want to have that on your radar. Now, if we move over to silver, very similar situation. So last week on the FOMC statement, we actually broke out the day before on the Wednesday, cleared $15 an ounce. Good follow through on the Thursday. On the Friday, popped above this trend channel, closed back below it, and you can see how beautifully we can see that silver is following its trend channel. So it's come up all the way up to this resistance again, and it's still having a hard time of it. A lot of traders looking at this key zone. You can see there's a doji so far developing on the daily here. Now, again, what we may get here is a building up of pressure around this zone. If we continue to consolidate at this level, we could get a building up of pressure at this zone and essentially get a breakout as we head into next week. I do anticipate we're either going to consolidate or potentially pull back a little bit from this zone. We really need some news-based move here to get a nice breakout above this trend line, or I expect we just consolidate over the course of today, and then as we head into next week, we could have an interesting breakout scenario. So silver, you also want to have on your radar here this trend line. If we breach this trend line, you can see just the overhead resistance at the moment sitting around 1530. If we get above that zone, we could really start to build up some momentum to the upside as we head into next week. On the much larger time frame, silver's looking very interesting around these key zones. So you want to have gold and silver on your radar this afternoon, and particularly as we head into next week. Now, in fact, we'll have a look at Palladium before we look at platinum here. We discussed this last week, that Palladium was looking like it had fallen quite a strong base. So essentially what we've got here, we had a V-shaped reversal pattern, taking quite a while here for Palladium to base after it's been in a very large downward trend going all the way back to about May, right the way through to the end of August. Then we seem to have reached a capitulation and a bottom just around about the 520 zone here, $520 per ounce, and you can see where we've continued to consolidate, build a nice base here, V-shaped reversal pattern. Then the neckline is what gave way this week, and you can see when we finally got above that zone, about 618, we've had a really good breakout and follow through. So that's been a beautiful trade, and we've seen some really nice momentum. In fact, today we're again clearing above yesterday's high here, so it's been a really solid breakout for Palladium. So what we'd be looking at here now is a potential retracement back down to previous resistance, which could turn into support. So just coming back down to this zone, getting a bounce off this level, and then we can look for another opportunity for a long if we do see overall confidence with the other precious metals. So if we get a bounce back to the mean reversion, back to previous resistance, turn support, then we can look for an opportunity to buy. That's what I'll be looking for. You don't want to chase the trade at the moment with Palladium. It's already moved. It's already delivered a lot of points to the upside. You just want to wait for it to come back down again for the next entry at the moment. Now, if we move over and have a look at, we'll transition over to oil very shortly. We'll just have a look at copper as well, which is strongly correlated with oil. So copper did have a nice breakdown over the last week. In fact, we started this whole breakdown after the FOMC statement last week on Thursday. We closed the day with a doji. We broke the lower end of the trend channel. We followed through, closed pretty bearish there on the Friday. You can see on the Monday another doji, and then we followed through this week. So we've had quite a large breakdown. Now, we've traded the confluence just via crude oil this week. Copper and crude oil very strongly correlated. You can see nice breakdown. We're consolidating at the moment. So essentially what copper's looking to do is to decide its next move here, whether it's going to just consolidate and break lower, or whether we're going to get some sort of retracement. I expect if oil continues to break down, we will also see a similar move here with copper as it continues to break down and possibly taking out this swing low just to the left here. But whilst we're in this consolidation mode, anything can happen here. It could still get a reversal if we get above the last 3 or 4 days of consolidation here. So it's one to keep on your radar. If we have a look at oil, oil's looking very interesting. So we'll move over. We've got both light sweet crude oil and Brent crude oil, which we'll take a look at. So first of all, what you will note is on the crude oil inventories this week, we got a breakout to the upside. Okay, so we did get a breakout on the inventories just on Wednesday. However, that was very quickly sold into. There's a lot of key resistance, a lot of sellers still in this market on oil. We came up around the 50-20 zone, $50.20 per barrel, and very quickly it was sold into really nice bearish rejection candle here into the close, and we started the breakdown yesterday. Now you can see there's a very clear downward trending channel. We've got horizontal support to break down. What we're looking for today is to see whether we can get a move on. If we can really start, we've got a lot of overhead resistance here. If we can just slowly come down and take out this support zone, we've got a nice wedge here. If we can just take out the 47 zone on oil, we're likely to really start to build up some momentum. Otherwise, if we see oil break out of this trend line, which is overhead at the moment, we'll likely just see a move back up, potentially up to the 50 zone again, and then we're just going to continue to consolidate, probably in ricochet just between support and resistance. Whilst oil is still in indecision mode, we may just see a continuation as we continue to find support and resistance at these key levels. So we'll keep an eye on oil here, but would like to see more pressure to the downside. I think the path of least resistance at the moment would be a breakdown, because that is where we would see a lot of momentum start to pick up to the downside. There's far less support. If we break lower, there's a lot of resistance, though. If we break higher, you're going to encounter a lot of resistance zones, just like we did on Wednesday when the Brent crude oil broke out, encountered resistance, and immediately sold off. So keep an eye on the support, and let's see if that gets broken today. If resistance gets broken, we'll probably get a pop back up to around $50 per barrel. Now, if we have a look at light sweet crude oil, very similar situation. In fact, light sweet crude oil did take out. It had a really nice sell-off again on Wednesday on the inventories. We did get a breakout to the upside. That was very quickly sold into. Very bearish candle on the close on Wednesday. Followed through yesterday. Started to break down nicely. Just about found support around the 43.67 zone here. You can see where it closed into a hammer rejection candle into the close. Again, same situation here with light sweet crude oil. We're ricocheting between support and resistance. There are still buyers holding the price around this supportive zone of 43.50. So we essentially still need to break either the resistance or the support to determine the next move here for oil. We are closer to the support than the resistance. The overall price structure at the moment, we're sitting around a key zone, a key retracement level as well, fib retracement level, just around this 43.67 zone. So if we can take out that level, we should start to pick up some good momentum to the downside. But if we break resistance here, we should also follow through. So on both Brent and WTI, they're still consolidating. They're still moving between support and resistance. We'd like to see a break of either of those zones just to get confirmation, and then you can get into that for a reasonable follow-through after we've consolidated for so long. The longer you consolidate on the market, when it finally has a resolution, it's likely to be a strong high momentum move. So have that on your radar 100%. Now, if we move over and have a look at the grains, are looking very interesting as well. In fact, we'll start off just in the soft here with coffee. Coffee had quite a nice gap just on the open today. It's continued to consolidate, still following these trend channels which have been in place going all the way back to mid-March here. We're still ricocheting between support and resistance here. You can see it's just get back up again here. It's still consolidating. Coffee is very much still in indecision mode, although it is ultimately in a downward trend. At the moment, we are still seeing a support and resistance zone just holding at the moment for this market. You can actually just draw on some trend channels as well, where we're just seeing the price contained in these channels at the moment. So we'll continue just to monitor coffee as we come into next week. Until we breach this zone, either major support or major resistance, we'll sit on the sidelines with coffee. Now, we've had some interesting price action here with corn in particular. So corn, we've got a strong pennant forming right now. So if we just draw a pennant on the current price, we're waiting for a nice breakout. We might actually get that pop today. You can see where the price is getting tighter and tighter. You've got very clear resistance overhead. You've also got very clear support just underneath. We've got a nice pennant formation. So we are looking for a resolution on this. We're getting ready for a breakout trade on corn. So again, and that's a good one to have on your radar. Whichever way this breaks, we're interested in a trade. So whether it gets a breakout to the upside here or whether it breaks down below support, it's building up a lot of pressure. So it should get a nice breakout in either direction just once it has a resolution. If we have a look now at wheat, wheat is finding key resistance here around the 510 zone. We're still building up a bit of a base here as well. It's still to be decided. We may well just break. If we break the lower end of this trend channel, we could start to see more downside back towards the swing low, 452. If we get a breakout above 510 here, we could start to pick up some momentum. I prefer corn at the moment to wheat. I think the price structure is better right now. And finally, if we just have a look also at soybeans, you can see here soy also still sitting towards the lower end of this trend channel here, ricocheting low. It's still continuing to break down over the last week or so. It's having a bit of a retracement today. What I'd be very curious to see is whether we close the day with some sort of rejection candle. It's coming back to test a key zone again here. If we get some sort of rejection candle into the close today, that could be very interesting because soybeans here has broken down through major support. We're currently sitting very close to 5-year lows. So you definitely want to have that on your radar as well. Super. Okay, so that is what we're looking at, guys, in terms of the opportunities on the commodities just this afternoon, okay? So as we move into the US session. Right, so let me talk you through. We've had a lot of inquiries about this recently, and I do want to talk you through how you can gain access to this. So let me talk you through the Private Traders Club at the Gold and Silver Club, okay? So essentially, we have now opened up places. There is limited availability on this to join our Private Traders Club, and this is going to include the Commodities Quick Start training course. We provide live trade setups, live market analysis, week ahead wealth plan, and all of that is now accessible to you. So this has never before been made available. So of course, when you are trading the markets, you can do all the hard work yourself. You can analyze the fundamentals. You can analyze all the technical data. You can calculate your own entry and the profit targets, monitor the trades, figure out what to do all by yourselves, or you can join the private traders community at the Gold and Silver Club, where we are getting phenomenal results. You can let us do all the hard work for you, let us analyze the fundamental and technical data, give you the exact entry profit targets, support you through the trades, and you can focus on what's important, and of course that is making money. Okay, so there are limited availability on this. We are opening this up. This very exclusive our Private Traders Club, and if you would like to find out more about how to get similar results to our traders at the Gold and Silver Club, very simply, to join the Gold and Silver Club Private Traders Club, you just need to go to www.jointhegoldensilverclub.com. Enrollment is by application only. All you need to do is complete the enrollment form, and we'll get in touch with you ASAP. I'll just show you the enrollment form. It's very simply www.jointhegoldensilverclub.com, okay? And it is by application only. And again, once you are enrolled on the Private Traders Club program, you will have access to the Commodities Quick Start training course, live trade setups, live market analysis videos, and the week ahead wealth plan. But we do have limited availability on that, so you do need to get in touch ASAP if you would like to get involved on this program. Okay, fantastic. So that is it for today's session, guys. We look forward to hear from you. I wish you all good trading and have a great weekend. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.